there, welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits. Coming to you from the Recycle Garage in sunny Santa Cruz, California.
Sunny it is.
And I can say that with a straight face.
Yes, you can.
Yes, I can. Hey, everyone, this is Liza, and we are back to our beautiful California weather. After a week and a half of rain, which is really just torture for us.
And snow, a lot of snow.
It's been horrible. But let's get to who is here with us in the studio. Let's see if we can get her to say anything at all. Joining us, it's Monica.
Hi.
Good enough? That's all we need.
That's
Perfect.
as
Well
good
done.
a start as any, Monica. We're going to get more
actually a
out
high
of you
bar.
later.
And running the board for the first time, it's Neal.
I'm such a noob, but hopefully I won't fail tonight. Already I'm failing. I'm not close enough to the microphone.
Yeah, get that in your face there. Get it in your face.
Right up in my face.
All right. On the Classy Girl couch tonight. You know what? I think I'm going to rename it On the Bad Girl couch tonight.
Yeah, okay. Just spit it out.
It's Miss Emma.
Hello, darling.
Hello.
Hello. I think you're being very unfair to me, Liza. More unfair than usual.
Really?
Yeah, no, really.
Okay.
Liza's prickly tonight.
No, she
prickly
have you
hair.
noticed that?
Yes.
She really is prickly tonight.
We're seeing it in live, real-time action.
I am the nicest person here in the room. I'm gonna stick my ground. Joining Miss Emma on the Classy Girl couch,
Yes,
truly bringing the class,
yes.
and joining us for the first time, it's Janet.
Hello.
You got to get up on that mic, Janet.
Hello.
There it is.
Hello, Janet.
Well done.
So you have on the Classy Girl couch, you have two very classy Brits on the Classy Girl couch.
That's right.
Good.
Tra-la-la!
Going around the room, we got another first timer. Is this the first time?
My first time.
It's clothing optional, Jim.
Be gentle with me.
Clothing optional, Jim. Actually, that's not bad.
And of course, not to be confused with Naked Jim.
Hey, what's happening? Great to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
And of course, we can't forget everyone's favorite ginger. It's Bagel.
Greetings and facilitations.
Hello, Bagel.
Hello.
How's things in Velveeta tonight?
A bit damp. It's kind of on the Roque 40 side, shall we say?
Is it a bit moist around the gussets?
Yes, it is.
Oh, dear.
but you know, lots of lubricity is a good thing, right?
Oh, God.
Got to keep them lubricated.
That's right.
You don't want your parts to seize up now.
No. Good. We had a good day in the garage.
I believe so.
I think because the rain stopped, everyone came out. I had to pull out all the extra chairs.
there was a lot of chair action.
Not a lot of bike working, but Jim, you got to experience it all day.
I did.
Did you have fun? You even got to help some people.
I did. I got to clean up a little bit, and it was just fun to hang.
Well, there was 3 oil changes.
Yeah, I did one.
I did one.
And I learned that all of my oil filter wrenches are shit.
Well, I have a suspicion that your bike, you know, when it rolled down the line, they probably manhandled the oil filter on with some air wrench.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, but all of the fitted wrenches I have didn't fit. And then all the universals I have were kind of sucky.
right. Where did you get your oil filter from?
It was the one that came on the bike, right?
No, I got a CF Moto oil filter kit with CF Moto oil and a CF Moto oil filter.
In fact, where did you get it from? Don't say CF Moto.
No.
Bing bong.
As my mom refers
Benelli.
to, the evil empire.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, the Amazon.
Okay, very good. The Amazon.
Hey.
How much will an oil kit cost you for a, what is it, two quarts and a filter?
I don't remember. It was 3.
3.
I don't remember what it cost me. I bought it a while ago.
Okay.
Probably
Took me a long time to get up to 600 miles.
Probably about as much as one of those liters of 300V cost me.
Yeah, maybe.
Liza, could I have a Ricola, please?
No.
Was it
Okay.
the same filter that you took off? The original filter was a replacement just like the other one?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's same-
CF
Okay.
Moto branded.
Okay.
Yeah, same exact thing. But that's when you pull out the big pliers.
Right.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I got the job done. And then Neal was very helpful in saying you don't have to crank it back on. So I used the universal strap wrench to just give it a little extra once I hand tightened it.
Well, it's sort of finger tight and a quarter. That's about it.
Yeah, so that strap wrench. But
I've always remembered that. It's an easy thing to remember when putting on an oil filter. Hand tighten it and then a quarter.
There you go. And you're done.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we had a lot of people coming by
Yes.
and hanging out and having fun and visitors to the garage.
Yes,
You gave some tours.
I did.
There were dogs.
There was. And it's an awful thing. Actually, I don't even remember the dog's name. I was going to say, I don't remember the people. Muffin, that was the dog. A very rug-like dog. We had 2 dogs that resembled living rugs come by the garage. Very sort of
Rug-like.
So the other,
rug-like coat.
What'd you say, Bagel?
They're mop-like.
Yeah, well, kind of
No.
wiry. That's the word I was looking for. Wiry.
Like a
Okay.
push broom.
Yes.
yeah. So the other,
Yes,
so
yes.
the other dog, my friend's dog, was Chuck Norris.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Chucky.
How fun. Quick announcement. We've had some new Patreon subscribers. Thank you for joining. This is the time if you want to join, because if you haven't seen the new t-shirt design, which Emma has approved, right, Emma?
Oh, it's absolutely Emma approved.
Yeah. You get a free t-shirt, $5 or more a month. I will send out a t-shirt. Going to be shipping those in April. I'm taking all the pre-orders right now. But you can go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com and you'll find the link to our Patreon there.
And I'm not going to share what's on the T-shirt. However, I'm not suggesting it's one of my ancestors who is on the T-shirt, but I'm not denying it either.
I couldn't help but notice that that the two of you kind of sound alike.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Tally-ho!
Oh, tally-ho, jolly hockey sticks and all that crap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jolly hockey sticks.
Yes. Do you have a problem with that, you surf?
You wanker.
We say that all the time.
Yeah.
Every sentence.
Bloody
Yeah,
tosser.
No, yeah, I was going to say, it's more like we're a bunch of tossers.
Yeah, dishes and peas, whatever that is.
Dishes. What the hell is wrong with you, Jim? Now, come on now.
So, Janet, what brings you to sunny Santa Cruz?
Well, I have waited for 45 years to ride Highway 1.
Oh!
And today I have done it. Yeehaw.
Nice.
So, yesterday you started down in LA
I did.
and you picked up a rental bike.
I did.
What are you riding?
I'm riding a Harley Davidson
America.
833.
Nope.
Oh. 866.
Nope. Is this like guess how many jelly beans are in the jar?
883.
883. Well, I'm
There you go.
dyslexic, so I was getting my numbers muddled.
Yeah, there you go.
You get a pass.
And so, yes, and it's not the first time I've ridden such a bike, and I should know from previous experience that it's not the most comfortable bike for me. Anyway, I did. So here I am.
Would you like to pull the mic closer to you? You look like Lemmy.
Lemmy, what out of... He's actually from Stoke, which is very near to where I live, and we have a statue of him,
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
There
That's
you go.
cool.
which was unveiled last year,
Oh, fantastic.
and my friend did it, and he was riding his motorbike, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
Do you know Lemmy's last name was Kilminster?
And my camper van has all, the groups, motor, whatever it is.
Motorhead?
Yeah, all over it, logos and everything. I've had some of them taken off though. Sorry, I was getting too many signs like that.
The devil horns. There we go.
Wherever I
The
drove,
ace of
people were
spades.
standing in the gutter, going on the sidewalk, pavement, I call it, like that. And I thought, whatever's going on.
I like the gutter better.
Oh, I just imagine you at the mosh pit now.
Absolutely
Absolutely.
not.
So, this is your first time riding up the PCH highway.
It is.
How was it?
Oh,
This is like yesterday was the first day with no rain.
No, you nailed the weather.
I know.
Yeah, but not only that, they've only just reopened Highway.
I know.
So that was for me.
Wow.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, you got some full.
I think it was the 16th of January.
Now, so Janet, did you try and stay on Highway 1 as much as you were able? Because I know there's places where you have to go on 101. You really can't help it. Because you came all the way up from LA.
All the way up.
Oh, hang on a minute, though, because don't forget, I started in LA on 101 and then I picked up Highway 1.
Where'd you pick? Do you remember where you picked it up?
At a roundabout.
Oh, there you go. That'll do.
Well,
she stayed in Cambria.
Yeah, you were in Cambria this morning.
Yeah, I was on the 101 by then.
Yeah, between Cambria and here is magical.
Oh,
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, magical.
I'm so fortunate. I just had a big smile on my face.
Was there any fog at all, or was it clear the entire way?
No, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Morro Bay is really.
And I was so fortunate because I was coming LA to San Fran. It was like all the traffic was going the other way. So I had the road to myself.
Fantastic.
And I was just
Beautiful.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't been down there since they reopened it. And they actually had it closed during the rains, not because I think
Yes, mudslides.
Oh, were there? I didn't know if it was preemptive or what, but
no,
I'm glad they opened it up right away.
No, it was mudslides enough to close it.
Like, yeah.
But it's back open now.
Mm-hmm.
There was mudslides a few days ago because my friend from San Jose told me, she said, you're going to have to check your route because there's mudslides and they've closed the road, but they hadn't today.
You had a little bit of a mishap coming up the coast.
Oh, dear.
Where the bike died on you.
Oh, yes.
You want to tell that story?
I had forgotten what a small tank it has. And my bike does at least 240 miles to a tank. So I was not worried about fuel. So anyway, it started to go chug, chug, chug. And I thought, well, maybe the wrong grade of fuel's been used. So anyway, eventually it almost sort of conked out. So then I rang the guy who I'd rented the bike from and he said, do you think you've run out of fuel? So I said, oh no, because the light hasn't come on, the fuel warning light. So anyway, I said, I've only done 120 miles. So he said, well, that bike only does 130. So he said, will it start? So I tried it. So I said, yes. So anyway, I got just down the road a couple of 100 yards and then the light came on, fuel light. And then I found a fuel station about 5 miles away. So all good.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're able to get there. All right.
This is classic Sportster behavior. If you ever go on a run with somebody on a Sportster, they're always looking for fuel. From the moment you start until the moment you finish the run, it's like, where's the next fuel station?
Well, and that stretch of road you were on, like between Cambria and Gorda or Gorda to Big Sur, there's not much out there.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, like
And
Gorda's got that fuel stop, I think.
And
maybe,
I was getting a bit desperate again. And I thought, oh no, here we go again.
So here's a little known fact. Once you just get... Actually, no, it's before Cambria. Just south of Cambria, there is a little town called Harmony. It's a proper town. It's got a fuel station. It's got a town hall and a post office. And it's for sale. You can buy the whole town. And it's not actually that much. And I think you get like 10 houses and everything to be a town.
And you could be mayor.
You could be a king if you wanted.
Be like Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is actually, it's a real proper town. So there you are. Tra-la-la.
So, Janet, you got a little bit of time here. I think we're going to go for a ride tomorrow. Have you been riding in the Santa Cruz Mountains before?
No.
Oh,
I have been to the mountains before. I've been on the little steam train up in the
Roaring Camp.
Nice.
Yeah,
we love that train.
well,
it's really cute.
It's like right here.
We were in the garage today, and I was like, "Oh, we got to do the podcast soon." Wait, I got to run Janet down to the lighthouse real quick, just so she could see how close to the ocean. We're heading down, and she's like, "I've been here before."
Yeah.
I'm like, "When?" She goes, "Just last September." Like, what?
There were a lot of people out too. It was busy out there at Westcliff.
Yeah,
Not as busy as last time.
Yeah.
I came down for a sunset on a Sunday evening.
Well, Janet, I wanted to talk a little bit about something really cool that you do. Well, there's a lot of things.
I'm a mother, a grandmother.
That are really cool.
And I'm called Biker Grandmother. How about that?
There you go. We like the sound of that.
Biker Granny. There you are.
But remember when I went to Isle of Man to the Manx?
Oh, yes.
I guess 2 years ago now?
Yep.
I ran into Janet there, who's a marshal, who snuck me into the marshal tent and let me pick all sorts of goodies out of their freebie boxes.
Oh, right. I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I could get lynched.
And a kickstand puck and all that stuff.
So she's swag mistress.
Yeah, she helped me get some Manx swag.
I'm good at freebies.
But I wanted to talk about this because I'm going to see you again in May. When we're back there. But how did you get into marshalling? And do you do Manx and TT?
I do.
So how did you get into marshalling there?
Well, anybody can get into marshalling, but I thought at first you had to be invited. I thought it was by invitation only, but apparently not. One day I was on Glen Clutchley Road, that's the start-finish line of the racing, and I was just getting off my motorbike, and as normal, as a female woman rider, you always get people coming out, what are you doing? Blah, 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 talking about your bike. And then these guys said, right, we're going to have to go. We're going to sign on to be marshals. And I said, oh, I've always wanted to do that. So they said, come with us. And then that's it. I was a marshal from then.
So for people who don't know, what does a marshal do?
A marshal ensures...
I hope you can answer this.
Yeah, I know. I just suddenly thought, what do I do? Drink cups of tea, eat cake. A marshal maintains the safety of the TT course during racing and half an hour before racing, and it removes some of what we call road furniture. So that can be things like signs, and also we turn off the lights for the crossings, and we block roads off with barriers and ropes and people's driveways, and then make sure that nobody goes on the course. If you go on the course, then you can go to prison. So it is serious.
Wow.
Now, for people who don't know, how long is the course?
The course is 37.37 miles long.
And how much of that do you cover as a marshal?
Well, I cover the area of Douglas Road Corner, which is the road up from Peel, which is unrestricted, so you can ride down there as fast as you can in safety. And I've taken Liza down there.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Because I said this is my favourite road. And it's also quite good because you can get out from there. So we get a few people that stop off to watch a race and then they disappear. We also have ambulances there. And also, if they have to stop the race, we can also let the riders off the course there because they can ride back to the start-finish line from there.
But how many marshals are there for a race?
There's over 500 marshals for each race.
You guys, this is what's amazing.
And they're all volunteers.
This is what's amazing, to hold a race. Jim, have you ever been? Just for confusion, you'll be Jimbo. And
what?
And you'll be Jim.
Thank you.
Have you ever been to Isle of Man?
No.
For those who haven't been, I mean, it's a city, it's farms, it's everything. You got all of it in there.
You've got to make the distinction between
multiple towns,
a race, and a road race. Its closest car equivalent is the Monaco Grand Prix, where you're actually driving on city streets. Many, many years ago, funnily enough, in the 70s, my hometown, Birmingham, actually flirted with the idea of doing the Birmingham Grand Prix. And the reason it never took off is the sheer amount of work.
Well, that's
to put that on, and I think that's being proven here.
That's one of the things that's incredible, and that's what I wanted to just talk about this for a bit, because a lot of the focus is on the racers and what I'm going to say, what balls they have to be able to race.
Big ones.
On one of the most dangerous courses, just because there's buildings and walls and such.
Trees.
Yeah. But the level of organization that not just all the marshals, but the entire community, as you said, people's driveways being blocked. I mean, that people who live there just accept this. I mean, it's bad enough we got people who move in near Laguna Seca and then complain about the noise and try and get it closed. These are people who get blocked in, but no one's. Do they get a lot of complaints there, or is everyone like, "This is our life"?
Well, it's very strange. There's lots of people that have lived on the island for years, and some of them go off the island for the TT, and they rent their whole house out to people because they can get enough money to have a holiday. Because if they've got, not of them have really nice houses, so a lot of the teams will rent the house for their VIPs, etc., or families or whatever. And some of them just go off the island anyway because it's so crackers. Some companies shut down for 2 weeks because they just can't get round, because the roads can start being closed about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and they might not open properly till 8 o'clock at night. So they obviously have. Sometimes we have like a road opening session. We have one of those on our corner. So they open the roads for about half an hour to an hour. But, that's it. But they try, sometimes they open the roads at like 4 o'clock and then reshut them at 6 o'clock. But it just depends. It has to be passed through government and everything. They can't just sort of make a random decision. They publicise the road closing times before the races begin.
Now, have you seen some gnarly stuff? She takes a swig of it. Have you seen?
I've been very fortunate. I've also marshalled in Ireland, and I've seen many more crashes in Ireland because it's short circuit. So short circuit is when it's only like about 3 miles course, and that you do tend to get more accidents there. And also because they don't have the staggered start, they tend to sort of all start together in a big group, or maybe 2 or 3 groups. It depends how many riders are in the race. But with the TT, they're all 10 seconds apart. So it's more like a time trial in a way. So they're not all starting on the line together. So that does sort of prevent more incidents, we call them. But we have had people come off. But our corner, if you're going to come off on the TT circuit, our corner is the best corner to come off on because we're all very, very organised and very qualified and very, we're just used to it, and we just work really well as a team. In fact, last year they actually filmed us during an incident, and they're using that now for the training of the future marshals.
How cool.
Wow.
I was very fortunate when I was there for the Manx to have Janet there because there was a day off of no racing, and she took me around the entire island, showed me everything I needed to see. The ferry bridge, the big wheel thing. What is that?
Laxey wheel.
Laxey wheel. The museums, like all over, and even took me to other towns to go eat and run in and meet more marshals. Like, it was so cool to have this tour guide who was like, "I'm going to show you everything." So thank you. That was really, really great to have you there for a first timer. Now I feel like I know the whole island.
You do. It's a very small island.
Yeah. I cannot wait to get out there. Are you going to be able to join us for the lap of history?
I will. Yeah. I'm bringing a little bike over in the back of my camper van, so I'll be there.
The motorhead van.
Yeah, we
No, that's going.
Oh.
That's finished. It's a white one now called Snoopy.
Well, you know what? This actually brings me to my next question.
Oh, dear.
Because both Jim and Janet have the same problem that needs to be solved.
Jim or Jimbo?
Jim.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
okay.
Clothing optional.
Clothing optional, Jim.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
So the question is, what is the best bike to buy to put on the back of a van?
Wow. Well, I had a trailer before, so I used a trailer bike, but I had to have one that matched the van, and as the van was orange, it had to be an orange bike. But it wasn't a KTM; it was an ATS.
Oh,
little scrambler.
You see, the initial idea, because I showed up, and you when always happens when I show up, everyone just says, "Oh, Emma this, Emma that," and your question was, What is the name of the Suzuki with the big fat tire at the back?
Yeah,
It's a van.
Hayabusa.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Because Clothing Optional Jim is going to be starting van life soon.
Right. And the Suzuki van and its cultural cousin, the TW200 Yamaha, initially think these are great choices because they're fun little bikes and blah, blah, blah. But they've got these big fat back wheels.
So kind of hard to put on a hitch?
It wouldn't work in a motorcycle rack. You would have to custom build a rack with a sort of wide for the wheel to sit in, because you don't want it sitting on top because it could bounce out. So initially, what would have been a great bike, my suggestion was an XT 225 Cero, which is basically a TW200 with a slightly bigger engine, a normal wheel.
And proper tires,
tires, but again, it's very lightweight, lots of fun, and it's got turn signals and mirrors and all the things you want. And that'd be a good sort of camper van. Because, you really want something small because you don't want to be wrestling with it. You don't want to be monkeying around with it.
Well, anything, if it's a normal, quote unquote, dual sport bike, those are good. Those are roughly 300 pounds or more, and that's hefty to get up on any kind of
right.
We were talking about that Kawasaki 125 or whatever. How much are those?
So there's the Yamaha WR125R. The one I was recommending is the Honda XR150L.
How much does that weigh?
I'm trying to look it up. The suggested retail is $3,400.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Is that the Grom?
Nope.
It's a dirt bike. Yeah, dual sport dirt bike.
Oh, dirt bike.
XR150L dirt bike, but it's a street legal dirt bike.
So
I've seen people with them on the back of vans.
Yeah.
So it is a lightweight bike.
Interesting enough, do you know where that bike's made?
Brazil.
Mexico.
Oh, Viva. Seche.
Hecho en Mexico.
Hecho en Mexico. I work on a couple down at the shop.
We'll see.
They're interesting bikes. The carburation is a bit core blimey.
So still carbureted.
Oh yeah.
282 pounds.
Oh, it's
not light.
That's almost KLX 300.
Not light.
It's very, very softly sprung. Very softly sprung. It's a bit like sitting on a marshmallow and bouncing down the road.
Yeah.
I mean,
wonderful.
it's like a rocking horse when you brake on it, boing, boing, boing. But they're punchy enough for a little 150, and it's a very comfortable ride. The ride reminds me of like an old 1970s American car. It's just going.
Well, this started because Jim was like, I think I'm going to get a Grom. That's what Janet said also. So they're both thinking of getting Groms for two different reasons. And this is the thing we got to take into account. For Jim, he can mount a bike to the outside of the car. We don't have those kind of theft problems.
Yeah.
And you just want something lightweight and versatile. Mm-hmm. But for Janet in the UK, you can't leave it strapped to the outside. It needs to fit in the van.
Because it'll get nicked.
Wow.
Exactly. So in that case, the Grom might actually not be a bad idea. Or if you want to have fun, you get a Monkey. They're all the same engine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, what about a Ruckus?
Ruckus.
They have a big tire too.
Yeah, it's heavier.
Yeah, big tire.
Yeah.
And I think the Ruckus is just a 50.
Or what
there's the 50 and the 200. But I don't know if those are in the UK, are they?
I don't know. Have you seen a flock of Ruckai, Janet?
We don't have those in the UK.
Okay.
What about
to my knowledge?
Are they making like this? What is it? The CT 125 now or something like that?
The Trail 125.
Yeah, Trail 125. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's 256 pounds for that.
They also have way more options of knockoffs. I got the Amigo here, but over in the UK, Haley and I bought another knockoff of a Trail 70 or a Dax that was better built, a little bit better built. So getting anything like that, you have the Dax, right? The Honda Dax.
Yeah.
that's a great bike. They're all in there with the Grom, the Dax, the Monkey, whatever fits you best. So for you, that might be better, especially something like the Dax, because it still has the folding handlebars, I believe.
Oh, I'll have a look at that. Thank you.
Yeah. But Jim, for you, I really think for van life, that 150 or that 125.
Well, yeah. When we started talking about it, I started thinking in terms, I need a bike that's a little bit of dirt capable, because most of the campsites, the roads are probably just going to be dirt, gravel, not well improved. But the goal is to get to a road so I can get to town, to get to the bars.
Yeah, exactly.
For the evenings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the 250cc or less dual sport is like the way to go. They're light. You can drop them. You pick them up. They're easy to maintain. They're like the ownership cost is super cheap.
If he's going down the bars and filling himself up with gin and tonics, he's going to be falling off it a lot on the way home, isn't he?
Yes,
it might be better with a bicycle.
I'm actually a drinking lightweight. 1, maybe 2 an evening is all I can do.
Okay, and then you'll be falling off after 1 or 2. Cheap date.
But also, like Emma had said, the 225?
Yeah, the XT225. It's been around forever.
That's still carbureted, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it depends if you want to.
Yeah, but so's that 150.
For $2,000.
But so's that 150, the Honda.
I suppose I kind of have a prejudice for fuel injection just because they're easier to maintain
than the WR 125R.
In favor of the Yamaha, it's only 238 pounds.
Okay,
so it's lighter than the other options that we've been talking about.
However, you could just put a Hayabusa on there. Stretch Hayabusa. Stretch booster is the answer to everything. You wouldn't
Stretch ruckus.
You wouldn't need to put a stretch booster on the back of your camper van because it is the camper van.
I was going to say the Hayabusa would be towing my van potentially.
Hayabuser.
Yes.
I still like the Honda Trail 125. I think that's
but kind of it's heavier. Yeah. It's actually heavier than the XT225. So. If you want something that's got a normal frame size and reasonable suspension, I think the XT would be a better choice.
No weight shaming on this podcast.
We didn't ask, is there a budget?
Oh, well, the budget is whatever I can get for my SB 650 that I'm selling for $5,000.
For reference, what did you spend on the van?
$2,000.
So there you go.
Oh, wow.
But I don't rule out the van. I think the van that is made for this kind of life.
I don't get the fat tire thing. I'm sorry, but what's up with the fat tire thing on these bikes?
Well, it started with
sand.
No, I call bullshit on that. I would not ride that in sand.
Yeah, you would.
I don't know. How would that do in dunes? I'm thinking not that great.
Oh, there's pictures of them in dunes.
It's just a look. It's just a look. A style. Yeah. And, Yamaha started it with a T-dub.
Yeah. And it softens it. It's more approachable, I think.
Honda had the Fat Cat.
Yes.
Which is a direct competitor to it.
You want a thinner tire that's going to go down and kind of dig in, whereas the fat tire just kind of floats and you waddle around.
Yeah, see, that's what
it's not meant for dirt bikers. It's meant for people who are just going to waddle through the shit. Yeah. But at least it floats above the shit.
Just curious.
And if it wasn't for that fat tire, it'd be great. It's fun. It's lightweight. It looks great. But what kind of rack are you going to find to put in it?
Well, I was speaking with, was it Charlie?
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about a different kind of rack where, as opposed to having a ramp where you push the bike up onto the rack, it had a lift type of thing.
That will cost as much as the bike.
Oh.
Yes, those are great.
I actually have one that I don't use. If you want, I'll sell it to you for very, very cheap. And it works pretty good. It's pretty convenient.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. No, if you haven't seen them, I forget what they're called, but basically it's a platform that comes out your trailer hitch and uses a small bottle jack. And and you kind of jack it up behind the bike, put a pin in place, if that's what you're thinking of.
Do you have to mount something specifically under the bike to work with?
No, because there's basically a square platform that the bottom of the engine or the engine guard will rest on, and then 2 long bolts go down through the foot pegs.
Okay.
And there's large
wing nuts
that tighten the foot peg bolt down to the platform. I've used it a few times. So far, so good.
Or you could take a leaf out of the yachting community and have like a lifeboat on the back with like davits. And you can kind of hang your bike off the back
like that with a winch.
Yeah, with a winch. Now, I'm winching up the lifeboat, Captain.
Named Mary.
Janet, I do have one other suggestion for you to consider. And this is where I'm going to call on Bagel for his help.
Yeah.
Don't say scooter.
Might you want something that's an easy step-through design that you don't have to throw a leg over the seat?
I haven't really thought about that. I've had scooters when I was younger, but not recently.
The Trail 125.
Well, a Vespa P200 or P125 is a great trailer.
Small. It needs to be small.
This is pretty small. They're not large bikes.
Okay.
These are vintage.
The van's only 2 meters wide, only 2 yards wide.
But in the end, are you a mod or are you a rocker?
And I've got to sleep in the van with the bike, so
it depends on how many mirrors you have.
A mocker.
But a Honda Elite scooter could fit the bill too.
Ooh, now you're thinking.
Yeah.
Elite 125.
An Elite 125. Do you have the Honda Elite 125s?
no, I don't know.
Do you have buddy scooters there?
We do have a lot of scooters. I haven't really looked at scooters, to be honest.
Yeah, they're branded as Star scooters there.
I'll tell you why I'm looking at the Grom.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a, what colour is your bike? It's because I wanted a white. Oh, dear. I need to get a drink of water. Sorry. My van is white, so I wanted a bike that matched it, but also you can get a lot of decals for the Grom. Like they do all the MotoGP colours and all sorts of stuff. So it's a bit of vanity, really.
Then I think you should get the Grom.
Yeah, that's definitely a good choice.
Plus, it's going to fit easier in the back of the van.
And you get those glowing lights, like the purple lights that shoot down from the bottom.
Well, speaking of that, why not a CF Moto Papio?
Oh, the CF Moto that's, you know what? Considering the Isle of Man.
CF Moto Crapio. Surely.
It's got that
CF Moto
display on it, right? You can have Nyan Cat going, as you're bouncing down the road.
A lot of the riders have them, both the BSB, the British Superbikes, and also the TT riders. Some of them do both sort of racing. They have them as like what we call paddock bikes. So they like zip round the paddock on them and then they zip down the shop on them,
There you go.
They're quite cool.
Yeah.
I always like to throw out
Paddock
a wild
zipper.
card because you live in the UK and you have something available there that we don't.
Brain?
No. What is
Pie and mash.
the coolest scooter in the world?
Lambretta.
Yes. Well, yes, there is that.
Cooler than a Lambretta.
Wow.
Depending on your opinion.
Surely you don't mean the Royal Alloy.
No, Bagel.
The Italjet dragster.
A Tailgate. You have a Tailgate scooters there. You could get a two-stroke.
Two-stroke drag
180.
scooter.
A two-smoke.
Yeah, something to consider. But before we get too far into this, I wanted to cover a topic with Jim that's been bubbling up in the news.
Clothing optional, Jim?
Nope, Jimbo.
Oh, right. Very good.
Jim, we got an email in. You want to go ahead and read that email? That should lead you into the topic.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So the email is titled Mojave Desert set to lose half its riding area. So this is from our dear friend, Mark Danger Duncan from down in Southern California. Hey, Mark, what's happening? Hey, Jim, Liza, and all the misfits. Not sure if you follow this up north, but the off-road community lost a big battle earlier this month. They are closing a ton of riding areas in Mojave next month unless something can be done. Don't know if this is something the podcast can help spread the word about, but we really need all the voices we can to help save our trails. Hear, hear. I also love the desert tortoise. So this is kind of the backstory. I'll fill everybody in a second. I also love the desert tortoise and want them to come back, but it doesn't seem that everyone has proven the turtles' dwindling numbers are due to off-roading, nor have they shown that banning off-roading will bring the turtles back. The other half of Johnson Valley is also under threat from the Marine Air Base expansion for artillery practice. I guess they want to get the motorcycles out of there so the Marines can blow up the turtles. Ugh. All right. So here's a link to an article on the court-ordered closures. You can check it out on Facebook at Friends of Jawbone Canyon. They're rattling cages about it, and links to a petition to save our access to these public lands.
And just to comment on that, I'm reading a bit on this. What's controversial here, too, is that a federal judge made this call without input from Congress, the community, or accountability.
Yeah.
And this is dangerous.
So here's a little bit of the backstory, and Mark alluded to it, is there's a couple of things happening, two separate things. One are the tortoises they referenced. So the California desert tortoise, whatever it is, and we all love nature. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if you talk to any of us, we're all hippies at heart.
You scratch a dirt biker underneath, you're going to find an environmentalist.
For sure, right? And there's a lot of analogies there. But as of February 2026, public land access in the Southern California Mojave Desert has faced massive restrictions, specifically for OHV use. A federal court had ordered the closure of over 2,200 miles of routes in the Western Mojave. So the court order, and what the issue is there, from what I understand, I'm not the expert, right? But from what I understand is a judge basically said, boom, we're closing these areas. And it's an area called, I think it's WEMO, I think is what it's called. Yeah, the WEMO, the West Mojave motorized something or other. Anyway, it's an area that we go ride and camp in all the time. I mean, we were literally just there last month for the Desert Hare. So I guess the issue with this is there was no public comment period. They didn't go through the regular deal. Public land's supposed to use Congress to go through to do that kind of stuff. So basically what I'm understanding is you have a judge that just made a decision unilaterally and closed these lands. So, that is what it is. But there's a couple of things that really suck about it. Again, we all love the tortoise and all that stuff, but if you don't do the research and find out really what's happening to the ecosystem, you got to know the facts. And I don't know all the facts, but I compare it to other things I see out in the desert, which is kind of sprawling development that they don't seem to check. The other thing are like solar farms and things like that also tend to decimate ecosystems. I think it's just the OHV is an easy target for a number of reasons.
It's highly visible.
Here's a question I have. Is OHV refer to all off-road vehicles, including trucks, side-by-sides, 4x4s, motorcycles, quads, everything, right? So motorcycles are being swept in with
right.
All
and I don't think when you use the term OHV, I don't think you can differentiate between them. It's all off-road vehicles.
Yeah, it's going to be OHV. So some of the areas that they're having closures in. Oh, and the other thing that's happening, and this is more down in the Johnson Valley area where we ride. So if you're looking at a map and you're not familiar with this area, you can kind of go to Barstow, California. It's kind of the bullseye for this area. And there's riding all around that area. So just north of Barstow is where I went riding to see the XB70 crash site. Mm-hmm. There's an area called Rainbow Canyon and some other areas that are just phenomenally beautiful. South of Barstow is Johnson Valley, and the encroachment there, in a different light, is the Marine base. Oh, I think I told it, but the Marine base is expanding. So when we were at King of the Motos down there last month, usually 29 Palms is the Marine base. So south of Barstow to the east is 29 Palms. And if you rode out far enough, I'm talking like 30 or 40 miles, you'd start seeing signs, of military presence, like don't go past here, exploded ordnance, high energy weapons. But it was like out there. When we were just riding to Hammertown from the campsite last time, we came up to a line of signs that said government property, do not pass, weapons and all that kind of stuff. And we were literally looking at it like an old cow at a new gate. Like, what in the world? Where did this come from? And so anyway, to the south, it's the Johnson Valley area, has closures there due to the Marine base. As you move further north towards Barstow, like I said, you have that Rainbow Basin area just north of Barstow. But then as you travel further north up the 395 corridor way, so this is kind of the southern Sierra Mountains now, Jawbone Canyon potentially is going to get affected. I mean, we're going there in 4 days.
Right.
There's areas around there, the Rodman Mountains and some other, like this is down by Johnson Valley, but Stoddard Valley, I think it is another huge OHV area that's going to have partial closures. So the big thing is like, how do you advocate against this, right? How is your voice heard in this kind of thing? But we're not talking about small tracts of land.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's kind of disappointing for me is I look at other organizations that partner well with seemingly groups that wouldn't partner well. Like we've talked about this, Ducks Unlimited, right? The duck hunters partner up with all these other super, like whatever liberal,
like Sierra Club.
Thank you, Sierra Club. Like in those organizations.
Nature Conservancy.
Right. Yeah. And so they're able to have these partnerships that keeps access to land open. And it's disappointing that the motorcycle community doesn't seem to have that same, or the OHV community doesn't have that same connection.
I think it's a perception problem that motorcycles are noisy. They're perceived that they tear up the ground.
Well, and the obvious solution would be, okay, so let's get the AMA involved in this. But the motorcycle side of it is very small. If we're talking about the whole of the OHV community, that would require not just bridge building between the AMA and environmental groups in that area, but Jeep community. I hate to use
But the reason I singled out motorcycles because they do a lot less damage to the environment than the four-wheeled vehicles. That's all.
Right, but I don't think from a legal standpoint, if you're closing roads, you can't say this is closed to all OHV traffic except for motorcycles.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see that occasionally where they'll differentiate, like, no Jeeps past this point, but maybe it's single track for bikes. But I think when you're talking about OHV areas, it's going to be everything.
Right. And that's for a different reason. That's geographically because of terrain.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is a legal standpoint. So what it actually requires is the AMA partnering with all these other OHV organizations and then taking on the powers that be.
I just realized that there may be some people like Janet who doesn't know what OHV land is. Does any of this make sense to you?
I presume it's sort of a nature reserve type place.
It's off-highway vehicles, and so there are lands that are set aside that allow four-wheelers and motorcycles.
And in other cases, it's land that nobody wanted for anything, so it's just the federal government owns it.
Well, there's this kind of concept in America that there's areas that are the people's land. Here would be like a Bureau of Land Management is the federal agency that manages these large swaths of public land. And there's this firm belief, especially those of us in the off-road community and others too, if you hunt or those kind of things, that public land should be open to the public to use responsibly.
Right.
And when I see things like this, it's kind of a sledgehammer approach to stuff. So we do right in some areas. I'm thinking of this is in Nevada, an area called Moon Rocks, and there's some mountains up there we ride through, and we get into some areas. It's beautiful. The soil is just this gray kind of packed silt, and it's nothing but juniper trees. It's really beautiful. So a juniper tree forest up at about 4,000 feet, and you kind of single track through it. But it's only open, I think, to like hikers, motorcycles, and horses. And it's closed half the year for some environmental reason. I don't know if it's an animal issue or something else, but it's like you can only access this trail on these types of vehicles these months of the year. And, you got to believe that like I said, most of us want to be responsible and do the right thing, that there's ways to manage these lands that it can be a win-win.
I'm always reminded of the Honda course that me and Liza did all those years ago, that when we spent the day at the Honda training facility, it was as much as instruction of riding the bike, instruction of riding the bike on the trail, and instruction of leaving as little damage on the trail and being mindful of
respectful of the environment.
Respectful of the environment. That was drummed in time and time again. And I want to say, Janet, certainly these places in Southern California absolutely in the fabric of motorcycling since the beginning of motorcycling.
Yeah.
LA, a huge portion of LA bikers at the weekend put their bikes in the back of the truck and right to the desert and right. It's part of the culture, and it's been happening for decades.
And when we were out there last time, for the Desert Hare, Mark Duncan, who rode in, he came and joined us. What a dynamite dude. But he was racing in the National Hare and Hound that was going on Sunday. And where they raced, so I don't think Checkers MC put it on, but a different MC put it on. But these desert racing clubs have been around forever, like
all
decades.
LA clubs, and
they've been racing out there, and they do
clubs, yeah.
And when the times we've been out there seeing it, there's they take care of business, they know. But yeah, so people have been doing this for a long, long time out there, and the culture is real ingrained. I mean, unfortunately, you have these small, isolated incidents that don't help. Like if you looked at King of the Motos this year, not King of the Motos, King of the Hammers, where they have the trucks. They do this kind of crazy stuff at night where they'll go four-wheeling up these things at nighttime. Well, it got out of control. There were fights and people throwing beer.
Saw the videos.
And shooting fireworks. Well, the sheriff's department's right there watching all this. And it's like, hey, we issue you a permit for this every year. So King of the Hammers is also in jeopardy. It's just unfortunate that the perception, it doesn't match the reality, I think, of what's going on out there.
So, Jim, I have a question. I don't know if you can answer it, but maybe it's a follow-up one of our listeners can say. Who brought the lawsuit in this court?
Yeah, good question. I do not know.
Okay.
Good question.
I'm guessing environmental. Well, there was a couple different things. There was one that was environmental about turtles, but then there was another one about military and doing exercises or something. So there were two different things. But I wanted to ask you how you guys feel about. I might know this is. I know this is a very controversial opinion, but how do you feel when they say this land should be safe for turtles? Like, have you ever seen a turtle when you've been out there, Jim?
No.
So no one should use this land because this should be for the turtles. I mean, do you agree with that, or do you think that there's a middle ground that can be found?
Well, I think it needs to be assessed and done intelligently. I think is saying, "Oh, we found turtle habitat here. What does this mean overall for the survival of that particular species?" I think it's important to encourage biodiversity and not, force extinction because of human activity. But it also needs, I think it needs to be tempered with actual science rather than prejudice. So,
yeah,
right.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bagel.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing a lot with what Neal said, and I think that this is an important issue. We want to make sure that we're not causing any species to go extinct, and we need to live, in harmony with them. But I think there's a way to do that where you can have, motorized trails that go around habitat areas, and leave, those nature preserve areas intact where the species can survive. But there are all kinds of other issues that go into play here, including, the water use issues, which I'm sure is a big one in Southern California in this area for, which is probably, honestly, a much bigger impact on the lives of a lot of the wildlife there.
Yeah, that's the 800-pound gorilla that is still being reckoned with since the 1920s.
Right, that needs to be dealt with.
Water compact.
Right, first and foremost, before you start penalizing people who are riding motorcycles who aren't really having any impact on the issue.
Yeah, let's look at doing a development where water actually is, and we don't have to suck the Colorado River dry to do it.
Right.
And to answer your previous question, a U.S. district judge ordered the BLM to close these areas following a 2021 lawsuit by environmental groups, the Center for Biological Diversity, and the Sierra Club.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I'm not bad-mouthing. I guess I'd kind of bad-mouthing the Sierra Club and these groups because, we're all environmentalists, but for them, it's almost like a scorched earth approach. Like, screw, we want what we want because the ends justifies the means kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I've seen them operating in some other arenas lately, and not to go into that, but it's kind of like, they want what they want and they feel utterly justified no matter how they get to that point. So they're like, yep, we closed it, everything else. And again, the motorcycles are an easy an easy target.
Highly visible, easy. Yeah.
I mean, Oceana Dunes, the same thing's going on down there at Pismo. Like you alluded to that earlier, people enjoy it for decades. Then some rich people move into the neighborhood and then they start making up bullshit, to get what they want. And, but anyway, this just strikes close to heart so much because it is BLM land, it's public land. And I get it. The military, y'all need your room to do your thing, but you got plenty of room, especially out the other way.
Yeah. And where does it end?
And the turtle populations have dropped just dramatically. But when you are out there, there's a lot of other things going on out there besides people out camping and riding bikes.
Yeah. So in praise of the Sierra Club, they really do some good work in terms of getting people connected with the outdoors. They do their trips. They do this advocacy. They do trails, that kind of thing. That said, my interaction with people when they learn I'm a motorcyclist and that I'm interested in off-road access rights and things like that, very negative response, almost universally.
Yeah. And that's something that I think needs to change, because if you think about it from an environmental standpoint, if you need to go into a sensitive environmental area of some kind, do you want to do that with a big 4x4 gas guzzling vehicle, or do you want to do it on a nimble off-road bike that can get in there and use a minimal amount of fuel, produce a minimal amount of pollution, have a minimal footprint on the area to do whatever conservation work that you're doing? Why is that not the emphasis that's being put on here?
Yeah.
I think this is something that environmentalists should embrace as an alternative to bigger vehicles that are more wasteful.
I have a suggestion. Jim, what's the admission fee to get into these OHV areas?
It's either free or $5.
I have a new admission fee. A turtle.
Bring a turtle.
Bring a turtle. If everyone brings a turtle, stops at the pet store, brings a turtle and leaves it.
Yeah. I don't think it works like that, Liza.
One reason they discourage that is because the captive bred tortoises can spread a virus that can infect.
You're not helping. I'm trying to come up with solutions, Neal.
No, sorry,
you're not helping.
Cold water on your idea.
What's the plurality of turtles? Is it a herd of turtles?
A herd?
A hoid.
A flock?
You got a hoid of turtles.
Off like a
hoity?
Turtles.
A girdle?
So,
a tizzy of turtles.
Girdle
of turtle.
For our next topic.
Oh, wait. Before we move on, so what can you do?
Oh, good one.
Besides bring a turtle to the desert? Well, there's a number of things. So, in all seriousness, support legal and policy appeals. So you can go directly to the Department of Justice to appeal a 2006 judicial order that closed 2,000 miles of trail. The Blue Ribbon Coalition, who has some articles online about this, they also advocate for keeping public land public. They have a petition you can sign. Then you have Corva, California Off-Road Vehicle Association. So for 50 years, Corva has advocated for off-road use too. You can connect with them. Let's see, who else we got? Public meetings and comment periods. So again, Friends of Jawbone Canyon, which is a really cool organization. You can get a hold of them. They're active in this battle. And what else can you do? Direct political outreach. Go throw a stone through your congressman's window. No, don't do that.
No, don't do that, Jim. No. We don't want our listeners to be arrested, even if they want to.
So is Sahara Club still a thing, or did they morph into something else?
Sahara or Sierra?
Sahara Club.
I am not familiar with that.
That was Super Hunky's thing back in the day, the dirt bike guy.
Oh, no. Yeah. Super Hunky? I didn't watch those films.
But I feel that our listeners, the key to advocacy is going to be through Corva. So if you feel overwhelmed by this and you're like, I'm not sure where to look, Corva. Yeah, the California Off-Road Vehicle Association is going to be a great starting point. And if you go into Corva and then you can kind of navigate through and maybe go to Jawbone Canyon, that's going to zero you in.
Do they collaborate with AMA on this?
I sincerely hope they're going to.
Yeah.
All right, I have another suggestion. All right, since Neal shut down Bring a Turtle, did you know what 90% of turtles' meals are? Grass and weeds. Now, this is a win-win. dig up some weeds from your yard,
Bring them down.
take them to the desert, just bring a little trowel, plant them, boom, turtle food.
Oh, God, Liza.
Win-win.
I have a far superior idea.
What?
Comb your neighborhood and then find an environmentalist. Put him or her on the back of your motorcycle and then drop them off at the gate. I brought you an environmentalist. What more do you want?
Yeah, that'll work.
That's the most superior idea of the lot.
Yes. Okay.
By the way, I've just found out what a group of turtles is called.
What is it called?
Wait,
It's called a bale, B-A-L-E.
never would have guessed that.
Or sometimes called a flotilla.
Oh, I like
that.
Flotilla of turtles.
That's how I want to go into battle.
And also sometimes a nest or a turn, T-U-R-N. But I think flotilla is
No,
winner.
flotilla is definitely the. I have a flotilla of turtles in my bath.
That would be for the aquatic ones, I think. So,
but nevertheless,
fun fact.
Oh, yeah, they're aquatic ones.
All tortoises are turtles, but not all turtles are tortoises.
True. Hang on, I looked up turtles.
All right, are there any more fun facts before we move on?
No, we can move on now.
I just checked tortoises because I looked up turtles.
Okay.
Because that's what turtles in the UK are the ones that
I like turtles.
like the Ninja Mutant turtles.
They walk around with backpacks on?
They're the ones that live in the water. And in fact, we've got a problem with those in our country because
well, you don't have a lot of deserts in UK.
But when when it was on the telly and the films, a lot of children ended up with these turtles, and now they've put them in all the park ponds. So we've got these huge turtles that are eating everything. You know,
we've got alligators in the sewers.
Well, we could bring you some pythons from Florida.
There you go.
To help take care of the turtle problem.
Okay.
They're called a creep. A group of tortoises, which is what you call turtles, is called a creep. C-R-E-E-P.
I know a few creeps, so that fits.
I'm a weirdo.
And also they say here that
what the hell am I?
Most tortoises, because this is a UK phone, are very independent and they don't care for their young after they hatch.
And this week on Animal Magic with Johnny Morris, all about tortoises.
I wish it was a harem. A harem of tortai. I'm going to make up my own nomenclature.
And a flotilla of toidles. I like it.
Toidles.
Nevertheless, we shall be moving on.
All right, this next one is just a fun little thing. I don't know, how did we even... this kind of came around just from talking out in the garage, as we do, and this thing came up that got me thinking. I thought this would be a fun little game, kind of we can play together. I thought it'd be fun to pick bikes that we think best represent a description. For instance, if I say, what do you think is the funniest bike that's ever existed? Because it started because we were looking at the Benelli Dong and we were all laughing. You saw the Benelli Dong, Jim? Yeah. It's pretty funny, right? Yeah, exactly. What do you guys think is the funniest bike ever made?
Probably the Morphus.
That's an unusual one.
If I could put one of those horns on it, I would go with the Moto Campo.
Oh, the original.
Yes.
Yeah, the Moto Campo.
With just a clown horn.
Yep.
To seal the deal.
I have to see someone riding that around the campsite, and you're like, that is quite the silly little two-wheeler.
Clothing optional. Jim, what do you think is a funny bike?
One of the funniest looking ones I could think of is the Gladius.
Oh, well, no, I mean, the Gladius just looks like an SV that got left in the window and melted.
Yeah. Was that the SV or Versus? Was the SV? Is that what?
Yeah, well, it's an SV 650.
Well, and you're an SV guy.
Yeah, yes. But it's an SV that got left in the window and melted. That's what it is. All right, what would you guys say is the nicest bike that's ever been made?
Any Honda.
I would say the PC800.
Nice bike?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. It was terribly nice.
Like an ice cream truck.
Yeah, it is like an ice cream truck.
I think a Honda Cub is a very nice bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For AMA vintage days. Reminds me of Buck Rogers for some reason.
Bagel, what do you think in the scooter world? What's the nicest scooter?
Oh, wow. I mean, it really depends on your taste, but I think one that is probably one of the most sought after scooters is the Vespa GS 160. It's kind of your classic early 60s Vespa sport scooter with the classic curves and swoops and everything. But I was trying to remember. There's for the ugliest scooter. There was a very early,
ugliest is on the list. So if you want to go to ugliest,
and Emma, I might need your help here. There was a very early scooter from like the 1920s that had like these kind of like shoe-like fenders over the front and back.
Wait a minute! It's American, isn't it?
It might have been French. I don't remember.
Really?
But I wanted to call it like an auto car or something like that. But I can't remember the name of it, and I can't.
So there was a Nero car.
Is Nero car? Is that it?
Well, I thought about shoes like a pair of Gilly Brogues or what?
Scooter. That was a motorcycle. Is German, as I recall.
Yeah. Let me see.
So I think a Nero car came with a steering wheel at one stage.
Right. Yeah,
very
like
peculiar.
Yes.
It has this this long monocoque
Yes,
body.
The Nero car.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking of. And that is a very step through design, which is kind of a proto scooter, if you will, sort of a combination.
So I think that's where the Morphus got its design cues from.
Potentially, yes.
What do you guys think is the ugliest motorcycle you've ever seen? I'll give you one. I think is, and Emma. I learned about this bike from Emma.
The Nero car, it's full on steam.
Oh,
the Amazonas.
The Amazonas, not a good looking machine.
This is an ugly, ugly bike. Where are these made again? Mexico?
No, Brazil.
Brazil, of course. Who?
That's pretty ungainly looking.
It was a specific.
That is an ugly bike. Emma, what is the ugliest bike ever made?
Oh gosh, I mean there are so many that are gruesome. That new fucking Ducati with the tail cut off. God dang it! I'm not sure which is uglier, that Ducati or the new Katana.
Fine.
No, it's not. What is wrong with you?
The old Katanas are ugly.
No, they're not. Absolute masterpiece.
What about the Honda Rune?
The Rune is
Those are cool.
I will tell you. Listen, let me tell you something about a Rune. It is odd, but it's quite impressive looking.
It looks Ohio-y to me.
And when you actually ride it and you look down at the forks, they're not moving in any way that you think they are. So it's quite entertaining to ride, actually. So I got it some slack.
I've not ridden one. So.
I would love to get a hold of a Rune and do a kind of Emma makeover on it and see if I can pretty it up a bit.
Bikes and
because
Beards
it's
did
close.
a thing on one of those.
Huh?
Bikes and Beards did a thing on the Rune.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Honda's Ego Trip, and they're still fetching tons of money. Ugly bike. You know, I mean, I've always maintained even the most wretched motorcycle has even some redeeming qualities. I don't really want to get involved in, like, ugly bikes, because even the ugliest bikes are pretty in some way. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Okay.
So, Bagel, what's on your mind?
Well, another bike that I remember as being particularly ugly was it was a very, I think it was probably an 80s Chang Jiang copy of I think it was a copy of a Euro, which is a copy of a BMW.
I think those are so cool.
Is that the plaid seat?
Yeah, with the plaid seat.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it had a plaid seat, but I just remember it had like horrid colors and just really badly molded plastic and just it was just sort of like looked like it was slapped together. It was not a pleasant bike to look at.
Yeah. So going back to pretty bikes.
Yeah.
It starts and begins for me with the Norton Commando.
Ooh, all right. So
I think is probably
you think the Norton Commando, prettiest bike ever made?
Yeah.
Oh God, A Norton Commando is a good-looking bike.
Not the John Player. We talked about that, but
the John Player looks a lot better when somebody's actually sitting on it.
Right.
But the fundamental problem for me with Commandos, and Trident suffer from the same thing, is this tiny little skinny 19-inch wheel. If you put a proper sized back wheel on a Commando, it looks a lot better.
Look, everyone knows the prettiest bike ever made is a Briton.
No, you see, Britain's got a woefully, just awful front fender on.
Oh, the lines are perfect. Perfect.
You will never convince me the front fender on a Britain looks
the
good.
The second best looking bike of all time is the Harley.
Cafe Racer?
The XR1000.
No, the VR1000. Isn't it right behind me? Here.
Are you seeing?
Or the V1000. The Britain's the VR, or no? The Britain's the V and this is the VR. They're both similar.
Oh, I think a Norton F1's far better looking than the VR. Norton F1 is way better looking bike than a VR.
That is a lovely bike.
Janet, you've been riding a long time. What do you think is the prettiest bike ever made?
Well, there's quite a few actually, so I couldn't really say one particular one, but I do like the MV Augustas.
Oh, yeah.
So
that MV Augusta has the best ass in the motorcycle world.
I would give that to the Ducati 916.
Oh yeah,
is
Panigale.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: what about the angriest? What's the angriest bike ever made?
VMAX.
Yeah,
Diablo.
VMAX.
Diavlo. How do you say it? Yeah, but those two.
Yeah, things heinous.
Triumph Street Triple, the kind of
angry.
Yeah.
I think the Harley Cafe Racer is angry because it doesn't work the way it should work. It's just
that makes it ugly.
It's frustrated. It's angry. It's angry. It's like so close, but it's not quite there. Yeah, Bagel?
I'm going to throw out the Yamaha MT-09. That's kind of an angry-looking motorcycle, there's thing.
You know what is an angry bike? What's it? Is it that Phil has? Is it the Fat Cats? Black Cats? Black Cats.
Black Cat scooter?
Yeah. Those little two strokes?
Yeah.
Anything two-stroke.
Yellow and black?
Yeah.
I'll throw this one out because Craig had one. I'd never seen one before, but it's the Ducati Superleggera V4. Or do you have the Panigale?
Is this for angry?
For angry.
Oh, that
sport
Craig
bike?
had. Yeah, that is quite an angry looking bike.
The Panigale V4?
Something that looks angry. Is the V-Rod angry?
Nah.
No.
It's designed by Porsche. That's not an angry bike.
Yeah, maybe angry with the people that have to deal with the squealing rear brake all the time.
All right. Well, for the last one, go ahead, Bagel.
Well, I was going to throw out another one.
Yeah.
One that's a really angry sounding bike is, I would say, any Kawasaki triple with expansion chambers on it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's fair. So
that's sweet, sweet music to me. So
much like
angry is in the ear of the beholder.
Sweet angry music. Much
like we would vote in high school. What motorcycle is most likely to end up in jail?
The Kawasaki. No, going back to that time.
Stretch booster. But the reality is
Gixxer 600 probably.
Yeah, Gixxer 600 is by far the most likely to end up in jail.
I don't know, or a stretch ruckus for a liquor store robbery in Florida.
Yes,
that could be.
Also, yes.
Hashtag bike life, right?
Hashtag bike life.
What motorcycle is most likely to succeed? I mean, it has to be the Cub, right?
Well, yes, in a way. Sure.
Longevity.
Any Honda
durability
type thing.
Versatility.
And your manufacturing numbers.
Yeah. I mean, and it's nice.
Yeah, it's hard to see in this market.
Emma's thinking hard.
What are the engines that hang around? I'm thinking like that, that Kawasaki 650 motor, that parallel twin. That's been around for a while, just like the Gixxer engine's been around for a while.
No, I mean, I think, there's validity to the curb.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing. It's a nice thing.
It's just nice. So, for the last one, what motorcycle is most likely to get its girlfriend pregnant?
Hayabusa.
Yeah, definitely Stretch Hayabusa.
I was going to say it's
there is no other answer.
I'm going to go with hear me out now, Ducati Monster 1000 that's been spray painted flat black and needs a new chain.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Most likely to ditch child support, maybe.
Yeah.
You mean that wouldn't be any Harley ever?
Is there an erectile dysfunction motorcycle of the motorcycle world? Like most likely bike that the rider has erectile dysfunction.
You mean the dong?
No, I think if you ride the dong, you
aspect of it.
You ride the wave.
I'm warm. I'm vibratory.
All right, so
I guess we're not answering that one.
Here's the deal. Speaking of the dong, I have an announcement to make. I'm sending this out to the Hive. If anyone has any idea of how to make this work, I want a Benelli dong. I want to ride a dong. But here's the deal. They only sell them in Indonesia.
I'm going to just stop you there.
Yeah.
Would you say that again?
I want to ride a dong.
That is the only time I could ever imagine Liza ever saying anything like that.
And I must insist, it has to have a purple seat.
Oh, stop, Bagel.
God.
Hey, you want to ride it?
It does have a floating rear end.
But Bagel, you're.
Oh my God! I just looked at the picture of this thing.
Yeah.
So I think
I
may have a solution for you, Liza.
How do I get one out of Indonesia?
It's going to come in boxes.
Yeah.
It's going to come in 4 or 5 boxes, and that's the way to do it.
Why?
Because that's how Johnny Cash did it.
But why does it have to be in boxes?
Because that's the only way you're going to be able to get it to America without paying an absolute shit ton in shipping charges. If you can break it down into like UPS size boxes, will California let you import that here? Like, let's say money wasn't an issue.
It's electric, so
Montana,
it's electric. So there you go. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: there's a difference between getting something here and being able to register it. I'm not trying to get it registered.
Well, why don't you do an adventure? You could fly there and then ride it back. You have to spend some time on a cargo
this might be a reason
ship.
to fly to Indonesia.
That's some quality time with the dongs.
I've just decided I think it would be so cool to have one.
Yeah.
Now he can't.
Well,
Neal can't stop looking at it. It's hard to believe it really exists.
Do we? I mean, it's a dong in foreign language is like you make fun of North Korea's rockets. They're all something dong, and they have the long typo dong, for example. But I mean,
dong.
Just one 13-year-old boy to look at this. I mean, what were they thinking? Just one 13-year-old boy.
I know.
Hey, sex sells. What can you say?
Do we have any military bases around that neck of the woods?
No.
Philippines,
probably.
Yeah.
So if
Malaysia, maybe?
Yeah. So I mean, that would be another method: is find somebody within the military who could stick it in the belly of a C-130 and bring it home.
There are also a lot of parts on eBay. You could just piece it together $42 at a time.
or you can go over on a vacation and bring back a couple extra suitcases with you.
That's what I'm saying. I bet it weighs, I bet you could easily put that in a trunk.
Break it down. You can fit it into some suitcases, I'm sure.
I think the key, Liza, is it's going to come over in pieces. That's how I think you should approach it.
We've had people on the podcast that have mailed race bikes and shit and then put them together in a different country.
Oh, absolutely.
Can't remember who, but yeah, we took our motorcycle apart and shipped it and then unboxed it and put it back together.
Hey, Bagel, you want to go to Indonesia with me?
Maybe.
Scooter hunting?
Maybe. They have. You've seen the videos from Indonesia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of these absolutely insane moving sculptures is the best way I can describe it. That they make out of vintage Vespas that have like 36 wheels on them.
Oh, and the log.
Oh, yeah.
What I call the log
Really?
culture.
Yes.
Yeah, some of them are made out of like a tree trunk with like a steering fork on the front and the motor in the back.
Oh yes,
Like,
I've seen those. Yeah,
it's absolutely nuts, like what they do in Indonesia with vintage scooters. I absolutely love it. I would love to go someday and check it out and get to hang out and ride with those clubs over there because all these people like organize themselves into like local clubs in all the different little towns.
Bagel,
don't they have crazy drag racing too and stuff like that?
if you go over there with me, you could ride a log and I could ride a dong.
This is true.
God.
Think of the fun we could have together.
Well,
I could ride a long log.
This week on Sex Talk with Dr. Ruth.
But you could also buy apparently a Honda Beat, a Honda Vario, or a Honda Scoopy.
Oh, I want a Scoopy.
Maybe that's what you need for your van life is a Scoopy.
What's the Scoopy look like?
I don't know. We got to Google that.
We got a Honda Scoopy. Fantastic.
Is it? Let's see.
Hopefully,
we might need to get a shipping container.
Oh,
I can imagine it looking like a cartoon beagle dog wearing
it looks like the Metro.
a reporter's hat.
Yeah, right.
It's a retro modern scooter. So
Oh, look at that's cute.
Yeah, like the Metropolitan.
You can have a
Yeah.
side job here. We just start putting all these things in suitcases. That's a
I know,
cute little
I
scooter,
know.
though.
I don't know.
You can get one on Alibaba.
So Janet, coming back to you now. So you're riding here in the U.S., but this isn't your first rodeo. You've traveled in a few countries.
I have.
How many have you been to?
24.
Ooh.
Nice.
Can anyone beat that?
Oh, not even close.
And all for motorcycle trips?
Yes.
Oh. All right. So what's been your top 3 to ride in?
Germany, the Black Mountains,
Yeah,
Black Forest, sorry.
Black Forest is a beautiful area to ride in.
Ireland, the West Coast,
Oh.
No argument here.
and the passes, Stelvio,
There you go.
Gloucester, and those.
Will you be doing that, Emma?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We do Misfits tours over there that Emma leads.
So from our base in Alba, Stelvio is a long day, but I always make sure we do Stelvio one of the days. But it's like a 10, 11-hour day.
A big day.
And a lot of the guys actually like to leave the hotel really early, like 4 a.m., and then have breakfast at the peak of the Stelvio before it gets really busy.
Yeah, you're better off doing it in the morning.
Did that happen to be where the Olympics were happening?
No, that was in Cortina.
Yes.
Very close to where we are. Our home base when we do the Dolomites is about an hour and a half from Cortina.
Okay. Just curious.
I do a lunch tour in Cortina. It's just a great town. It's a beautiful town,
beautiful.
very historic, and completely different in the summer. The thing is, with all of these towns in that region, to a certain extent in Germany as well, in the Black Forest, which I know very, very well from years ago.
Like the cake.
There is a lot of gâteau in the Black Forest. Any shop, you go into any store and they've got Black Forest gâteau.
And cuckoo clocks.
Cuckoo. But they change so completely summer and winter. It's almost unrecognizable. I mean, Central Europe in the summertime is just glorious. It really is.
We got one more topic, then a couple emails to read. This is something kind of like with the desert and the turtles and all that it's hard to take aside. But I want to see, Janet, if in the UK, if you guys are experiencing the same thing we are with e-bikes.
A real problem.
Yeah. What is the problem over there?
Well, they're used a lot by the drug dealers to do their
Oh my.
their deals. So I notice them a lot where I live because I live on a little canal. And they ride up and down, with their drugs to the different areas. And I think and also they ride through the park very quickly,
Are they cheaper because you're right there?
I think it's because in the UK we have, you have to do a test before you can ride a small bike, like a scooter. And I think you can buy an e-bike a lot less than even a small scooter, and you don't need to take a test. There's no insurance, there's no tax.
I just meant, could you buy the drugs cheaper personally because they go by your house a lot?
Oh, right. Well, it's over the other side of the canal.
Oh, darn
but
it.
sometimes I do ask them if they've got anything good for sale. And they give me a funny look because I'm a little
discount.
old lady. Yeah.
What are those Scottish malt balls that you can get?
I don't know.
Scottish candies like malt on the inside. Anyway.
Oh.
Bagel, you were saying?
Oh no, I didn't know. No.
So, how do you feel about that? With do you have kids zipping around on these?
Well, I haven't probably mentioned this before, but I'm a volunteer with the Staffordshire County Council, and we do a lot for Bike Safe. So we have a lot to do with road safety, traffic accidents, etc. And I believe that there will be legislation coming in because I think it's got to happen before, they do sort of knock people over and, they just don't stop and they just carry on. And I think they can be quite dangerous. Some of them look like, they've got knobbly tires. They look like a small off-road bike, to be honest.
So like the Surons and things like that.
Yeah, well, there was that lad who showed up at the garage today with a flat tire on the back of his, and it was a proper sized, it was the size of a small dirty bike.
Well, they've had that kind of fat tire for a while, before e-bikes were a big thing. It seems like there are a bunch of e-bikes that have adopted that tread width because they could. Like the Super 73 or whatever that bike is has a fat tire because they're available.
When I was growing up, I remember mopeds, and it always seems a new technology comes along, and it takes a while before the rules catch up. And e-bikes are that right now.
Exactly. And mopeds were an interesting thing because they were designed specifically. In England and America, they serve very different roles. In England, when you were 16, you couldn't get a driving license, but you could ride a moped. So it meant freedom for a lot of 16-year-olds, both boys and girls. Because, 16 to 17 is a lifetime. And if you want to go out and have some fun and you're 16, you got yourself a moped.
Yeah, it's the same thing in California. I think you have to be 15 and a half.
Well, no, I think it may have been easier with the mopeds because they had...
but they were still licensed and registered and all the things.
And they had ways to do it because it was a CC thing. Like typically here, I don't know about there, but 49 CCs and less, you don't need a license.
The law still exists.
So they were familiar with CCs or displacements. Now with the electric world, no one understands anything. Like, wait, what? How do you regulate it?
And they with the current way that kids are so up on IT. And I know a couple of my wholesale clients, I've got teenage kids who are riding around on Surons and stuff like that. And they've all figured out a way, either with a reflash or a dongle or just, pulling out basically the controller and putting one of their own design in. They can get it up to like 65, 70 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
Like that.
So here's the thing. With the mopeds that we had, they were limited by CC, 49 CC. They could only go so fast.
He had to pedal up a hill.
Right? Yeah, it was only so fast. But with a lot of the e-bikes now, so they have different classes. Class 1, the motor provides assistance only while the rider is pedaling, up to 20 miles per hour. So it's pedal assist. Class 2, they have a throttle for motor-assisted riding without pedaling. And Class 3, the motor provides assistance only while pedaling, up to 28 miles per hour. So those are the three. The problem is a lot of the e-bikes they have to be metered to one of these, right? But then they have an off-road mode. And that's what you're referring to, Emma, is that anyone can then switch it to off-road mode, which everybody does.
Because you go from 28 miles an hour to 60.
So if you can imagine these mopeds that we rode as kids, if you could then unlock it to a 250cc, well, you would, right?
Yeah, instead of making 250 watts or 500 watts, they're making 2,500, 5,000
gigawatts.
But even back then, when I first started riding in the mid-70s, you all wanted the faster mopeds. And Yamaha did what was called the FS1E, which was a 50-mile-an-hour moped, and Suzuki had one that did about 50. And then you had the really quick ones, the Italian ones, the Malaguzzi's, and the Fantic GT, which like 62 miles an hour you could ring out of that.
Where was the Mobicane? Was that right in the middle?
No, Mobicane was like, that's the 49. Sort of thing your granny would ride. But yeah, and I mean, if you could figure out a way to make your moped go faster, either by design or technique, so kind of lying flat on it with your face on a Speedo, holding on to the fork leg so you're completely flat and just wringing its neck down a hill. And it was all about that magic number that your Speedo touched.
Yeah. Well, it's on a two-stroke, it's super easy to swap the top end for 100cc, 110cc, put an expansion chamber on it. And there you go. You got your 50, 60 mile an hour moped.
Bagel, you're up.
Yeah. And there are all kinds of ways. Well, and actually a lot of places, they had to restrict the engines on mopeds and some scooters so that they would fall within the licensing restrictions for those types of vehicles. And so it was super easy to just remove the carb restrictor off of the intake and, unlock, almost twice the horsepower that you would have otherwise. And the Heinkel Perla, the moped that I own, was a favorite of that for that kind of tuning in Germany because the German laws were fairly restrictive. And the motor in the Heinkel Perla was actually quite a robust motor. It would do 45 miles an hour on a good day. But for the German market, they had to restrict it. And of course, the first thing kids would do is rip off all the restrictions, put, shortened bars on it, more free-flowing exhaust, and, try to get them to go as fast as they could go. And, and I think that's been kind of the history of mopeds really ever since.
And so it is with electric bikes, but I think the argument is there is no regulation whatsoever with the parent vehicle. And
funnily enough.
Yes.
So California has a bill coming up that is going to say that the class 2 and 3, so those are the ones with throttles, will now require a license plate.
Like a moped.
Like a moped. So here's the thing. There are some states that are applying this that are limiting riders to 15 and up. Like a moped. I don't know if you recall, that's what mopeds were. A 12-year-old can't ride a moped. You have to be 15. So they're basically applying the moped rule to these, but requiring you to get it registered.
But, and honestly, that the shoe fits. It is a motorized vehicle with pedals. That's a moped.
And there are these states that are starting to apply these restrictions. I saw one, I forget what state it was, had given a 6-month buffer period. So all you under 15-year-olds, get ready, because you will no longer be able to ride your bike. And I'm absolutely torn on this because I see these kids riding around and it's freedom. And I remember what it was like when first thing you get something motorized. For me, like a Trail 70.
Right.
Whipping around and just having so much fun. Also, it's a gateway to motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my take on it is I don't think the kids are the problem. Honestly, when I've seen kids riding their Super 73s and bikes like that, they're obeying traffic laws. They're being careful. I see it all the time. They ride, where I live is
some, not all.
Of course, there are going to be kids that cause problems.
Right. But you can't punish
the ones that cause the problems on mixed use trails and places like that, older guys, older men.
Well,
they're the ones that are going too fast on the trails and whipping by and not giving enough space and just not really.
I'm going to tell you something. It's not the old guys on the trails that are going to change the laws, and here's why. It's not complaints. It's not public safety. It's once there's enough deaths, and the deaths are happening from kids riding in traffic and getting hit by cars.
Right.
It's not the guys on the trails who are annoying the people walking their dogs. That's not what's going to change it. It's kids getting killed. And I remember having this conversation years ago with AMA, like, well, when is legislation going to happen? Like, when there's enough deaths.
Right.
It's that simple, right?
Yeah. Well, to counter that, there was a study done in the Netherlands looking at accidents and fatality statistics for e-bikes. And the ones that tended to stand out were older men on e-bikes.
Okay. Well, here, I feel bad for the kids because I see them going around, even, some of my own kids, as I refer to Enzo, who rides his e-bike to school every day, and I've helped him work on it and fix it, and I would love these kids to be able to ride. What I think needs to happen is there needs to be training course they need to go through, and I know that like Lee Parks from Total Control has already developed a curriculum for a state to buy and then implement into the riding schools that already exist. Not a problem there, right? So you can go and get your training, your certification. But what do you need to prove that you've been certified? Because these 12-year-olds don't carry an ID with them. So now, does that require the state to come up with an ID system for kids?
I think
I'd be up for that.
Yeah, I think.
Right, but now we're getting more infrastructure, more work, more money.
And is that really going to provide any benefit to keep people safe?
I think the 15-year-old is a decent cutoff.
I think that's why they go with the 15-year-old.
It would end up being not necessarily a license, a certificate of operation. That's what it would end up looking like.
And with this new bill they're proposing here in California, they're going to be required to have proof of ownership. But what are they going to have? Do they have to carry their school ID, their library card? How do you prove that you are who's... This is where it gets tricky, right? And just like, this even goes back to when they implemented the helmet law here in California. It said you have to wear a DOT legal helmet, but never trained any of the police how to identify a DOT legal helmet other than look for the sticker, right?
So, but you're talking about they have to prove ownership of the vehicle, is what you're saying?
Yeah, they're saying you need to have proof of ownership of the vehicle.
So that's effectively a title to the vehicle then. So they're going to require e-bikes to be titled in California?
Yeah, because you're going to have to get it plated.
Yeah, if it's got a license plate, it's
just like a moped
title.
Or a trailer, which I don't have to pay yearly registration on. I do it once. You get a trailer plate, right?
Right, with a moped's the same. Right?
Exactly. But I can see how all of these things that seem like a simple solution then create this whole logistics and bureaucracy that is a huge problem. So I really don't know how the answer is going to be, other than I think there's going to be a lot of kids who are going to be shut out of riding. Well,
I get the sense that because they're creating these different categories of e-bikes, that the lower powered categories are going to be available to kids to ride without licenses or titles or ownership or plates or anything like that.
Class 1s, that's already the case. And
Class
2s as well.
Right. But the more powerful ones with the throttle, those are going to be classified as mopeds then and will require licensing.
They already, they require you to be over 16.
Right. But but it sounds like that's the direction that they're going in, is that it's going to require not just ownership, but probably licensing as well. Because if you think about it, it's required for gasoline mopeds. Why would you not require that for e-bike?
Well, I think that's the realization.
Similar.
Yeah, I think that's the realization that's coming is that the speed that these things are capable of and the weight that they are. A Class 3 e-bike is 70 pounds or so.
Right. Well,
they're pretty. That's a lot of kinetic energy on two wheels going 30 miles an hour.
Right, and same for a moped. Moped's about the same size and weight as well.
Honestly, what I think we're approaching here, UK already has the answer. Tiered licensing.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we need that for motorcycles anyway. That's one of the big gaps, and that's why motorcycle fatalities in the U.S. are something like 7-8 times the level of Europe.
How does that make you feel, Janet, knowing here that somebody who doesn't even have, hasn't taken a class, but they took a written test and got their permit, now they can walk in and buy a Hayabusa and drive out?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
what could
it's
possibly
America.
go wrong?
Well,
or a full dresser Harley.
Or Harley Davidson.
Here's just a different little angle I'll throw out. Food for thought is, this is punitive if you're poor. It's another tax. It's another fee. It's another yearly registration. And if you're if you're struggling to get by on a good day and you're like, hey, I can stoke my kid out with a bike, he can run around with his friends and everything else. Maybe you can't do that any longer. So I'm not saying it makes or breaks the deal, but this is just another tax.
But
and
Class
if you're
3
poor,
e-bikes are already heinously expensive. $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 depending upon how big the battery is.
I'm just throwing that out there. I talk to people every day that move out of California because of registration fees alone. You know what I'm saying?
It's
more money to the government.
But it's not going to end up being necessarily a California problem.
Yeah.
And rather than, use that scenario that people, they're poor and you want to get your kid an e-bike, there's people that are so poor right here in Monterey and Santa Cruz County, they can't afford a car. Yeah. So they have an e-bike they use to get to work.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm saying.
And it's another hoop for them to jump through.
Especially here in California. Did your kids get cars when they were 16, Jim?
No. Well, no, Jake got a truck when she was like 18 or something like that.
But here in this society,
Jake had that shitty little moped that she got from the garage.
We get cars. And so these are another alternative. But do you had something you wanted to add? Clothing optional, Jim? You had your hand up.
Yeah, sorry. The thought has left. Yeah.
It's gone. Well, here's the thing. I would like to know from people out there, no matter what state or country you're in, because I think this is happening around the world. I want to hear where you weigh in, because I'm honestly split. I think that it sucks that if you wanted to go get that XR150F to put on the back of your van, you have to have license, insurance, registration. But these kids on these e-bikes who are going to be riding faster than you have none of that. I understand that there's this overlap of this isn't really fair. But I also love seeing the kids out there having fun and having that freedom.
I love when I see them doing wheelies and stuff. I think it's super cool. Is it sketchy? Yeah. Wish they'd wear. I just don't like when they don't wear a helmet. Wear a helmet.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to say, e-bike people, remember you're representing. So,
yeah, tell that to the 13-year-old.
Well, but if you draw too much attention, we start having this conversation.
Yeah. Well, I want to hear from people around the world. What's happening where you live? How are they solving it? What is the problem? What is the solution? How do you feel on this topic? I want to hear from people.
So one thing I'll add, in Europe, in most places, e-bikes are limited to 250 watts.
Jim, do you remember how many watts our little electric mini bikes were? 1,000 watts.
I have no idea.
1,000 watts.
Were they really?
Yes. Exactly. They would be illegal.
They would be illegal, yeah. They were fun.
We got a couple real quick emails. Bagel, I sent one to you if you can get that ready.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I wanted to share one from our friend Joel Jessup, who said, I don't get to listen as much as I used to since I have no commute, but I do recall you asking for events to attend. And if this isn't a good reason to come to Milwaukee in February, I don't know what is. And this is the Mama Tried Flat Out Friday. So he went and he sent a video.
Okay.
I'm sold.
It looks like a hoot.
I'm sold. This video it's an indoor track and it's flat track racing. Is it in? It's like in an arena, and it was kids racing, and Maddie, aka Sheevel Knievel, on her
Nice.
little throttle assist bike, lapping everyone. But also in this race, it's like a little girl on a Strider and a pink helmet, just like
That's
waddling
awesome.
along. It was every kid.
I love it.
I think it looked like 8 and under. I have to show you guys the video. It is the most amazing thing. It looked like the barrel racing at Vintage Days mini version.
Awesome. I love it.
And this little Maddie just charging on her bike. And some kids just like just pedaling their little hearts out. Oh, it was awesome. Bagel, you have an email to share?
I do. From Ken in Connecticut.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, Ken.
He writes, Happy Chinese New Year, Misfits.
Gung Hoi, was it Gung Hoi Fat Choi?
Gung Hoi Fat Choi.
Only eventually.
As a substitute teacher, I cover a variety of classes. This past week, I happened to cover a series of Mandarin Chinese classes and had to show a fascinating video on Chinese New Year. In China, hundreds of thousands of workers are in-country migrants. When the long Chinese New Year holiday comes around, factories shut down and there is a tremendous migration of these workers back to their hometowns. Amongst the many methods used to travel home includes the largest annual motorcycle migration in the world. They also have a remarkably supportive motorcycle community helping out these travelers along the way, with stops along the way to warm up, get a hot meal, even get their bike services. Many of these checkpoints are put together and staffed completely by volunteers. Here is to wishing safe travels and a happy new year to all these hardcore Chinese motorcyclists. Looking forward to seeing Emma and Kat in the Dolomites.
Oh!
Yay!
In Connecticut.
Yay.
Cool. Yeah, it included a video as well. It's up on YouTube about the migration.
Oh, nice.
Fantastic. We should try and include a link for that if we're able, Liza.
I'm going to try and put the video of the race at Mama Tried on our Facebook, Recycle Santa Cruz / Motorcycles and Misfits page.
That would be jolly.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
Thank you.
Well, you guys, we've made it to the end of the show.
Good Lord.
Janet and Clothing Optional Jim, what'd you think?
It's changed me.
Demonstrably, you are a fundamentally different man than the one you walked in as.
Did you figure out what your van bike's going to be?
I'm still debating, but I'm thinking the Yamaha that Liza.
The WR?
Yeah.
Carrie loved that bike.
She did?
Yeah. And it's a full-size bike, but lightweight. Mm-hmm. So it's not like a little mini.
I thought it looked good too.
Yeah.
Good looking bike.
Wow.
And while I trust my fellow man, I'm probably going to chain it to the hitch that it's hooked up to, just to be safe.
Keep the honest people honest.
Exactly.
And Janet, have you ever listened to the podcast before?
Nope.
Did you know you were going to be on this show this morning?
Nope.
What good show.
Did you enjoy it?
Wow.
Oh, it's been fun. I've never even seen a podcast before.
Don't let the fame go to your head.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any chance.
It'll be on Netflix tomorrow night.
Thank you to all of our listeners. Emma, you have an email to answer, but you've been very good lately.
I have been diligent with my Ask Miss Emma, and anybody who writes in, just be patient with me. I mean, I lead a very, very busy life. Really, I work 7 days a week, so sometimes it takes me a couple of weeks to get around to answering. But I do attend to every email, and my promise to you, if you send me an Ask Miss Emma question, the answer you receive will be written by me and will be thoughtfully put together. I don't just willy-nilly answer questions. You read them all as well, don't you, Liza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much to our Patreon subscribers. You're the best. You can go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com.
Yes.
You'll find our store if you want to pre-order. You don't have to be a Patreon subscriber if you'd like to pre-order one of the new t-shirts. But you can also find our link to our Patreon, as well as events we're going to be at. I put the links up there, including the Misfits Rally. Are you going to come to that?
Big one.
What time or when is it?
April.
Second week in April. I think it starts the 16th through 18th.
To 19th. You know what bike would be perfect for that? A WR125R.
Stretch Fusa.
Stretch Fusa.
Perfect for that. You could ride it around the park.
All right.
Just saying.
Do a little rip and shred.
I got a quick shout out. So we mentioned Mark Duncan earlier from down south. Yeah, Mark Danger Duncan. And I just want to tell him thank you. So after the Desert Hair Gathering we were at, Liza called me up. She goes, hey, I got a package for you. So I came over and Mark had made a wonderful, like a double-sided nylon flag with the logo. If you haven't seen it, it's a like Mexican skull candy rabbit. The logo from the Desert Hair this year. So Mark, if you're listening, thank you for the thoughtful gift. I got a picture. I'm going to email you to you later tonight. But I was like stoked, like to come home and like a week or so later to get a gift of this cool flag and a nice card. So thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And for anyone who's really into ASMR while you were talking, Emma was nice enough to put her nose onto the mic and breathe heavily.
And in that vein, to deflect, we are going to Jawbone Canyon while it's still open.
Go while you can.
Go while you can. We're going to be there. I think me and Josh are showing up sometime around noon on Thursday. So anyway, if you're not on the email chain, email Liza and we'll get you hooked up. Come and ride some desert.
There you go. And you can email us at motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com.
Yes.
I want to hear about your e-bike drama. I want to know.
Dramarama.
And send us a message. On that note, I think it's time to get out of here. Thank you, everyone. This is Liza.
It's Neal.
I'm just admiring Jim's Adidas kicks. Those are fantastic. This is Emma Darling.
And Janet?
Clothing optional, Jim.
Naked Jim, son.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.
Cool.
Cool.